بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Alright, باب لا يسمي الرجل أباه ولا يسوق قبله ولا يمشي أمامه وهو أسد. Asad needs to listen to this. Ta'ad, you need this chapter's for you. This chapter's for you because you don't do any of this stuff. Alright. So this is the chapter لا يسمي الرجل أباه. It means that he should not call his father by his name. So you don't come up to me and say, hey Muhammad, what are we having for lunch? And I tell you, hey Saif, I'm going to knock you to the wall. You don't call him by his name. Alright, وَلَا يَجْلِسُ قَبْلَهُ, and he doesn't, and you shouldn't sit before your father. If you and your father go into the room, you remain standing until he sits down first. وَلَا يَمْشِي أَمَامَهُ, and you shouldn't walk in front of him. So if he's walking slow and you're in a hurry, slow down and you walk behind him. You don't walk in front of him. Like I said, this is something that Asad, and my other two sons are very good at these things naturally. But Asad is like, doesn't want to listen. Alright. So, the hadith, قال الإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى حدثنا أبو ربيع. أبو ربيع سليمان بن داود الظهراني. Alright. أبو ربيع سليمان بن داود الظهراني عن إسماعيل ابن زكريا, and he's Hassan. So now the hadith is going down, but we got something worse coming. So right now the hadith is Hassan to now. قال حدثنا هشام بن عروة عن أبيه. Who is his father? Hisham ibn Urwa. Who's his father?
Is that for me or for them?
That's for anybody.
Oh, Hisham. Hisham ibn Urwa.
No, he's Hisham.
Urwa.
Urwa man.
Urwa,
Who was his father?
No. The thing is,
What are you talking about, man? You jumped all the way to the Sirah. Urwa ibn Zubayr. His father is Zubayr. His aunt is Aisha. That's why you see that Urwa, he narrates a lot of hadith from who? From Aisha. Alright. So here's the problem. Hisham ibn Urwa an abihi aw ghayrihi. So we'll get back to that in a second. أن أبا هريرة أبصر رجلين فقال لأحدهما ما هذا منك؟ فقال أبي. فقال لا تسميه باسمه ولا تمشي أمامه ولا تجلس قبله. So this is it's not a hadith that's narrated by the Prophet. It's not narrated marfu', it's mawquf. The hadith is da'if, as we're going to get to in a second, inshallah. Alright, so what Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he saw two men. He saw them and he said to one of them, he said, who is this man to you? Like, who is he? What's his relation to you? And he said, فَقَالَ أَبِي, he said, it's my father. So he said to him, he said, don't ever call him by his name, and don't walk in front of him, and don't sit until he sits. Alright, so he was telling them these manners. This hadith, it did come in different books of hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, but all of those narrations are weak. All of them. And this is weak. Can anybody guess why it's weak? Can you look at the chain of narration and say, I got it? No, I guess not, because you don't have chains of narration. Huh? What? Alright, so what's the shahid? My wajh thought you have it. So you have Urwa, he had a doubt about who he narrated the hadith from. Now, there's not a problem if, like, for example, Urwa said, for example, an abihi, aw Salim ibn Abdullah. Who is Salim ibn Abdullah? Because we're about to see who the narrator from. But Salim ibn Abdullah is the son of Abdullah ibn Umar, the grandson of Ibn Umar. So if he said, like, for example, an abihi, aw Salim ibn Abdullah. Now, his father, Urwa ibn Zubayr, no doubt his hadith is accepted. So the problem is not him narrating his father, but the problem he said what? He said, an abihi aw ghayrihi. So he doesn't know, did he narrate from his father or did he narrate it from some other person? So the issue is what?
Some other person.
Who's the some other person? So since we don't know who the some other person is, we can't accept the hadith, so the hadith is rejected. If he had mentioned two people and both of their hadiths are accepted, so like I said, if he said, an abihi aw Salim ibn Abdullah, then the hadith would be authentic or not authentic?
Authentic.
It'd be authentic because both of these guys, both of them, whether he narrated from him or narrated from him, either one of them, their hadith is accepted. So it doesn't matter. If he's absolutely sure that, I heard the hadith from one of these two, all right, and he's sure about that, then the hadith will be accepted because both of those two individuals are taqwa, like their hadith is accepted. But here, al-ghayri, we don't know who it is. We don't know if it's somebody whose hadith is accepted, hadith rejected. We don't know if who the person is, if he heard hadith from Abu Hurairah. So there's a lot of factors that go into this. So the narration is weak. But the meeting, alhamdulillah, is a beautiful meeting. All right, and this is just the behavior that you see that a person, and all of this is about what? Just respect and honoring the parents. Respecting the parents and honoring the parents. So whatever that behavior is, it's not specific for walking behind them, standing until he sits, and not calling him by his name. Because what if you come from a culture where calling him by his name is accepted? Is there a problem with that?
Yeah.
No, you come from a culture where calling him,
You come from a culture.
hey, Muhammad, hey, and it's accepted, it's normal. So yeah, there's nothing, I mean, the whole issue here is not about this is, again, number one, it's not authentic. Number two, it's not a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, it's a statement of Abu Hurairah. And all the narrations that say that it's a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, all of those narrations are weak, all of them. So nothing from this. So, but let's just say that it is a statement. Let's say it's authentic, that Abu Hurairah said it. All right, this is just what? It's advice. And this is their customs of where they're at the time. You understand? So you follow whatever customs of the people that is honoring the father and not disrespecting him, when he's talking, what?
Be quiet.
Be quiet, yes. Don't go back and forth with him. Sometimes the father's wrong and you know he's wrong. Yeah, I'm talking, sometimes the father can be wrong and you know he's wrong, but you just what?
Let him figure it out.
Yeah, because if you go back and forth with him, it's just going to lead to something worse. So there's no point in trying to, maybe some other time when he calms down, you could take a book and you could say, look, Dad, just to show you.
Fighting authority over you.
Yeah, maybe when he calms down, you can show him that, look, this is that, this is it. He's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry, that's all was wrong, yeah. But when you're in that type of state, if you see the father heated or whatever, or he's just not in the mood. Because I tell my kids all the time, what I say? I say, you look at how I wake up in the morning, and y'all know if y'all want to mess with me that day or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you can tell, sometimes you wake up and what? You're happy, you're joking around with them even at 5 o'clock in the morning. But then other times you're like, come on, let's go. It's like one of those days, it's just like, yeah, I'm not in the mood for, nonsense that day. So just looking at that and how, and dealing with the situation properly. So the whole issue is not that you do these exact things, but it is honoring the parents. And this is like this behavior that he mentioned here. For anybody that grew up in the South, this is common behavior. Like when my father's walking, I walk behind him. When he's talking, I stay quiet. Well, of course, none of us, I think, ever called our parents by their names. I never heard,
I never did.
I think that's only kids in Beverly Hills that do that stuff, because most of them were raised up by the maids, they're not raised up by their parents, so they just call them, hey David, glad to see you home for a week,
I came around in '62, you don't do that.
Yeah. And the same thing with when we go into the house, the father's always going to sit down first, you're not going to, just common honoring and behaving properly with the parents. All right, the next one, Bab. هل يغني أباه? All right, and this is a question now posed by Imam al-Bukhari, where he said, should you should you call your father by his kunya? Not by his name, but you say, yeah, like I will say, so my son says, yeah, I will say. Instead of saying, yeah, Abi. He says, yeah, I will say. Yeah, I know you won't do that, would you? But I'm just saying, here, this is the chapter. So should you call your father by his kunya? Because calling the person by the kunya is shown as what?
Respect.
It's a sign of respect. But is it a sign of respect from the child? What's going on here?
There's a question for you. But this is a bit weird. If my father asks me to press his legs,
Press his legs.
I told you it's going to be weird.
As long as they massage.
And falls asleep, then what should I do? If I leave, he will shout when he wakes, and if I stay, he will take 30 minutes to wake up.
You need to ask somebody from your culture out here, because and my father tells me to massage his legs. You're like, dude, you gotta stop that gay stuff, Baba. You know, it's like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Come on, Dad, that's a little bit gay. That's what you got married for. Let your wife do that, man. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to ask somebody, whatever culture that is, where you massage your father's legs, ask a sheikh from that culture, because I can't answer that. I don't. Have you ever heard of that before? No. Nah, man. I mean, if you said something like, okay, your mother was working all day, standing on her feet, and you were nice to prepare like an Epsom salt bath or something to put her feet in, you know, something like that, you know, something that's massaging your father's legs. I'm sorry, man, I don't know. I can't deal with that one.
You used to have me scratch your head all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the mother, right? Yeah, that's something. Even if the mother, like some kids, they're nice like that. They see the mother working all day, they grab her feet and do like a little massage on her feet to like let her relax. Yeah, it's the mother, but the father, come on, man. I mean, I've never done that even with my mother, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that would be like something logical, but father massaging his legs, I'm sorry, man. My father asked me to do that and be like, nah, man, you from the Catholic Church, Bob? You turned Catholic? What you doing here? I was like, you been visiting the Pope? What you been doing, man? Hey, come on, man. That sounds a little bit cardinalish, you know, like the Cardinals with the little boys, Baba, you know, can't be doing that. Any other questions, what? Go on to the next idea. All right.
I have a
Going on
question.
to the next one anyway.
I have a question. It's about the grading of this, the first one. I'm not, it's not a challenge.
Sorry. What did Imam al-Albani say?
He says, Sahih al-Isnad. Right here. Sahih al-Isnad.
For this one.
For that one. That's why I said, I just...
He probably did it on the Majmur Torah, so there's a lot of chains and narrations, but all of them are weak, so he probably made it Hasan based on the Majmur Torah, so I'm not with him on that, so that's his opinion on the Alright, but if you have to have, like I told y'all before, if you have a hadith like this, and all of it's like very, very, in this case, not severe, because it's like, okay, outweighed, you know, there's this mubham, right? But all the chains of narration have some form of law in them. So, and then it can't even say Sahih al-Isnad because of what you gonna call it, Ismail ibn Zakaria. He's not double, so he's Hasan al-Hadith. So that already takes the hadith down to Hasan anyways. So to say that it's Sahih al-Isnad is still speaking of it, you know, still some ishkal, like problem with that. So. All right. باب هل يكني أباه حدثنا عبد الرحمن بن شيبة قال أخبرني يونس بن يحيى ابن نباتة يونس بن يحيى ابن نباتة is Hasan al-Hadith. So now we're already going down a notch, but it's about to get ugly. عن عبيد الله بن موهب عن شهر بن حوشب هو ضعيف. He has سيء الحفظ سوء الحفظ. So his memory is bad, so they don't narrate the hadith from him. خرجنا مع ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما فقال له سالم بن عبد الله بن عمر. This is what we were just talking about a minute ago, Salim. الصلاة يا أبا عبد الرحمن. So the shahid of this hadith, alright, so basically they're saying Shahr ibn Hawshab, he said that we went out with Ibn Umar, and Salim said to Ibn Umar, which is his father, he said, As-salat ya Aba Abdurrahman. So what's the shahid here? What's the issue? What's the connection between this hadith and the chapter?
When one second. Let me see. It's Ya Aba Abdurrahman.
He called Abdullah ibn Umar, his father, he called him by his kunya, Ya Abu Abdurrahman. And this is amongst the Arabs, this is respectful. I'm not sure if I've heard the sons of Sheikh Yahya call him Abu Abdurrahman, but I won't be surprised if they did. But yeah, so I mean, this is even though the hadith is da'if, this does happen. But obviously, it's better to call him Ya Abi, Ya Abati. All right, not Ya Baba. All right, because Baba is from the what? From the father of the father, you know. So it's better not to use these types of wordings, Baba. All right, this is what the kuffar, you know. Huh? You say Ya Abi. أول نفس. The hadith is da'if, and I'm pretty sure Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah said the hadith is da'if. No.
ضعيف الإسناد لضعف الشهر من قبل حفظه.
شهر بن حوشب.
No, this is من قبل حفظه.
Yeah, شهر بن حوشب.
Oh,
he's got bad memory.
Okay. من قبلي
because of his memory.
قبلي here means like the direction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's another one.
قال أبو عبد الله. Go ahead.
Abu Saif.
Abba Saif. Let's need that. Yeah, Abba Saif.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Abba Saif. If I walk behind my father, then he says that I'm hiding away, and if I walk in front of my father, he shouts at me.
So do whatever he's going to be happy with. What does he want you to do? Stay at home? Stay at home. So walk on the side of it. Whatever it is, it's not wajib that you do this. It's whatever is considered. It's going to differ from culture to culture. So certain things that we might look at as being respectful in America to the parents, you know, maybe you go to Yemen, it's not respectful. Or maybe you go to Indonesia or something like that, it's not respectful. So it's all about what the culture, you know.
He's not being serious.
What's the question?
No, it's not a question, it's something else.
Somebody needs to be blocked or something?
Someone who's not taking something serious, that's what.
Huh?
Someone who's not taking the class serious, that's what.
Alright, قال أبو عبد الله يعني البخاري أبو عبد الله كنية الإمام البخاري حدثنا أصحابنا. There's going to be a khilaf between. Alright, there's going to be some difference of opinion because here you have al-Bukhari, he said حدثنا أصحابنا. He said that some of our companions have informed us. Now, Imam al-Bukhari, he makes this narration authentic. Alright, he says, what does he say? What does he say in the book? No. Abu Abdullah, يعني البخاري حدثنا أصحابنا عن وكيع عن سفيان عن عبد الله بن دينار عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنهما قال لكن أبو حفص عمر قضى.
Oh, لكن أبو حفص. هل ينفي أباه صحيح الإسناد.
He made it sahih because why? Here it says Bukhari said حدثنا أصحابنا. So that's mubham, right? Mubham means it's not clear. We don't know who your ashab are. So Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah, he made the hadith sahih because why?
Because Bukhari said.
Bukhari doesn't narrate from a lot of people that are weak. So if he says قال حدثنا أصحابنا, the chances are that Bukhari narrated this hadith from at least one person who's what? Yeah, so that's why Shaykh Al-Albani said that the hadith is correct.
I know I keep looking here, but I am very trying to.
So that's why you see not Bukhari, Shaykh Al-Albani, he said that the hadith is Hasan or Sahih. But other ulama have also said that the hadith is da'if because we don't know who the ashabuna is until we know it. But, alright, we'll go with Shaykh Al-Albani on this one. And Waqi' or Ibn al-Jarrah, of course Ibn al-Jarrah, Waqi' Ibn al-Jarrah is
of course.
And Shaqawti al-Waqi' so heavy from the poem of Shafi'i. Alright, and Sufyan and Abdullah ibn Dinar and Ibn Umar رضي الله عنهما قال لكن أبو حفص عمر قضى. So here, the shahid of this hadith, he just said that Abu Hafs and Umar qada, like he made a judgment or passed a judgment. So, well, what is this? What's the shahid of this hadith? Who's narrating the hadith?
Ibn Umar.
Ibn Umar. He mentioned his father's name. He said Abu Hafs and Umar. So he mentioned it like that. He didn't say Abi qada. He said what? Lakin Abu Hafs and Umar qada. So I mean, if a person were to take this hadith and say that it's da'if, you couldn't argue with him. And if you were to take this hadith and take the statement of Shaykh al-Albani and say that the hadith is hasan, you couldn't argue with him. No, it says hasan, because there's still that ibham, there's still that issue. And when we got these types of elements, you can, to say that it's sahih. Sahih, it means that you have a person who's that narrates from a thiqah. Here we don't know who the ashab is. It could be somebody that's hasan. It could be a whole bunch of people that were da'if and he didn't want to mention that, so he just says hadathana ashabana. We don't know. We don't know who the ashabana is that Bukhari is speaking about. So because we don't know, how can you say that the hadith is sahih? Because we don't know if he narrated this hadith and anybody that's thiqah. So if he narrated it, from one person who's strong in hadith, from another person who's strong, then that's how the hadith is sahih. Other than that, then if any, like you see, like a person who's known to be hasan, maqbool, or la ba's bihi, as-saduq, or any of these types of wordings that Hafiz ibn Hajar uses in Taqreed, no, the hadith is hasan. It goes down to the Marital al-hasan. Now he might make it sahih based on it has different chains of narrations or something like this, but in this case we don't know who the ashab of Bukhari is, and if he knew, he would have narrated that hadith and would have said that, and you may note that what he means by this, he narrated this hadith from this specific person, and this person is thiqah, and khalas, and then you don't have to have the ishkal, and then khalas. But until then, we don't know. Alright. Well.
هو شخص يقول له آسف.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that in a second. So,
تقبل؟
You guys, for one, there's a hadith in Sahih Muslim and Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا تحاسدوا ولا تناجشوا ولا تدابروا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعض وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا. المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يحقره ولا يخذله. التقوى ها هنا، ويشير إلى صدره 3 مرات بحسب امرئ من الشر أن يحقر أخاه المسلم. كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه. And we're going to focus on the part of the hadith that we need right now, because this hadith will take the whole class to explain. So let's focus on this part from al-Muslim, akhul Muslim. So a Muslim is the brother of another Muslim. La what? La yahkiruhu. Alright. And that he doesn't what? He doesn't belittle him. He doesn't leave him, ولا يخذله. And he doesn't leave him in his time of need, in his time of when he's being attacked or he's being whatever, something's happened to him. He's in a time of need and you don't abandon him in his time of need. Alright, and he said, the taqwa ha-huna. He said, the taqwa is here. And he pointed to his chest, he pointed to his heart 3 times. He said, بِحَسْبِ إِمْرٍ مِنَ الشَّرِّ أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ مُسْلِمٍ. He said, it's enough evil for one Muslim to despise his Muslim brother, to look down and despise his Muslim brother. He said, كل المسلم على المسلم حرام. Every single Muslim to another Muslim is haram. He's got these inviolable rights that it cannot be violated, cannot be transgressed against. His دمه وماله وعرضه. Alright, his blood, his money, and his honor. So these types of things, when we sit here and joke in a class, does not give the people the right to go all over social media and start attacking a brother and saying, oh, you're a disgrace, oh, your parents this, and all these different comments. Sajid was sending me comments, and then my children were seeing the comments, the brother saw the comments. That's not, look, we were joking last night, and it was a joke, and it was funny, he was laughing, we were laughing, everybody was laughing. But then you go and get on social media and turn this into like a parade against the honor of a person, and speaking badly about them all through different pages even, not even on just the Institute channel, on the Institute channel, on Saddish channel, and all of this is not the behavior of a Muslim. All right, if we do something and we're joking around, for us we joke, but we don't go to that type of extreme of turning this into like a let's bash Hamza type of thing. Hamza's our brother. Hamza's in the masjid all the time, sitting in these classes, memorizing the hadith when nobody else is here. You know, when nobody else is here. So I don't want to hear anybody, you know, doing that type of, you know, running around disrespecting the people that come here and study. You know, I don't want to call him my student, you know, because he's my brother, but, you know, the thing is I don't want to see that anymore. And if I see anybody doing that type of behavior, I think you're blocked. I think we don't want people like that around us. People like that want to go around bashing people and speaking bad about people. Go to Daniel's channel. Go to Ali Dawah's channel. Go to those people's channels, you know, the people that just want to sit around and make a mockery of people. We don't do that. Like I said, last night was a joke. We were joking. Hamza was laughing. We were all laughing. It was all a good time. And then we wake up the next day, see all these comments, and it's just, it's just crazy. It's crazy. This is not the behavior of a Muslim. It's not the behavior of a person who wants good. It's not the behavior of a person who fears Allah. So it's Allah if you have that. I mean, wallahi, because subhanAllah, at first it was a joke, at first it was kind of funny, but then it got out of hand. Then you started bringing the brother's parents into the issue. You started saying, you know, all this type of disgrace. And I understand, maybe some people say, well, we're just joking. But, you know, you got to look at it. You're joking on comments. We don't know, can't see your face. You can't see, you know, oh, ha, ha, ha. You know, we don't know what your intentions are behind it. So that doesn't right. That doesn't right. You know, anybody that wants to have that type of behavior and do that type of thing with a Muslim, then obviously this channel is not for you. And we're just going to start blocking the people because I don't really care about all these. We're not concerned about views. I'll shut this live stream off and we'll sit here and take the classes in the masjid. I don't care about this stuff. We're only doing this for the benefit of the people. And that's it. So if the people don't want to benefit and they want to take the opportunity to start bashing people and turning this into some high school name calling contest, then khalas. We don't have any time. We don't have any time for that. You know, we only have time for people, like I said, we joke around, but we keep it within the confines and limitations of the deen. Even if I'm joking with him and I see that it's something that he doesn't like, I stop. And we end it. You know, so when I spoke to the brother this morning, I said, look, this is what's going on. And he said what? I don't care. But then when you started reading the comments, then what? Now you care, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's what I said, and then we have to talk about it, because this can't continue. This type of behavior cannot continue. They all need to cease this. This is not, well, it's not, and so many people got up in the comments and told you, stop it, this is too much. But still the people keep going. This is not Hamza bashing time. You know, we're not here to be like, you know, some type of cool YouTube channel or reality TV show. This is a lesson. We're in a masjid, we're teaching. Like I said, we only open up the live stream so the people that don't have this in the area that they live in, so they can try to benefit from it. And that's it, you know. But if it's going to be like this, where you start to attack the people here, then we're not doing this live stream no more. You know, that's it. You know, because we're not going to have that type of stuff of people going around making comments about people, speaking about people. Long time. All of the Imam al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, rahimahullah ta'ala. So yesterday we were speaking about al-kafa'ah. Well, qiyam, right? So the kafa'ah, what do we say it meant?
Kafa'ah,
Al-musawah, to be equal.
yeah, I'm sorry.
And the people they talked about being equal in what different things?
Deen, and nasab, and sana'a. Sana'a. There's deen, sana'a, nasab. I wrote it down. I wrote it all down. It's
Any
weird.
more questions while he goes through his notes?
Ari. Oh, where went? Oh, yes. اليسار بالمال الحرية.
Alright. So those are the 5 things. And what is the one thing that we said is the one and only thing that really matters?
Deen.
The deen. And what's the deal for that?
Oh, where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, a woman is married for 4,
That actually gives credence to that. That supports that, you know.
No, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَضْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرْبَتْ يَدَاكَ.
Oh, yeah, that was, you know, chose this one, but he was showing that the people, they focus on those other things, right? So, what's the hadith that we took yesterday that shows that the issue is about the religion?
Oh, the hadith regarding the
Fatima bin Qais.
Qais,
And he was
Usama.
Usama. And Fatima bin Qais, what's her nasab? Where's she from?
No.
She's Makhzumiyya from Quraysh. And Usama ibn Zayd was? No, he's not.
He's Arab.
He's Arab, but like I told you, his father, he got caught in a battle and sold off into slavery, and then he was freed. All right, so he entered Islam in the early stages of Islam, but he was free. So if you look at, like, you got here Fatima bin Qais, who has this high lineage, and Osama bin Zayd, who's, you know, this is like how they look at him, like this is his lineage. If they were paying attention to the lineage, would she be allowed to marry him? Absolutely not, if they focus on this. But the Prophet ﷺ told her what? Marry, Inkihi, Usama ibn Zayd, marry Usama. He told her to do this. So obviously, that's the Prophet ﷺ commanding her to do this and telling her to do this, even though she has a choice in the matter. It's not that she, you know, but of course, you know, she's going to obey the Prophet ﷺ, and she did. Alright, but then what? That shows that the Prophet, the only thing with the Prophet ﷺ that was more trouble in this issue, it was you know, considered, was the issue of the deen. Osama was a person of deen, and Fatima bin Qais was a person, was a, you know, a Muslim of deen. So they go together, as far as the deen is concerned, even though, as far as maybe wealth, as far as, you know, the lineage, they didn't match up. They didn't match up with those things. Alright, that's one. Now the next hadith, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يا بني بياضة أنكحي أبا هند وانكحي إليه وكان حجاما رواه أبو داود والحاكم بسند حسن. And it is Hasan. Alright, so he said, Ya bani bayada, what? Ankihu. Did I say ankihu? What did I say? Did I say ankihu? Well, anyways, I'm going to say it now. Ankihu, because this is a command to what? To all of them, you know, to this tribe. Ya bani bayada, ankihu Aba Hind. Alright, Abu Hind, his name is what? I mean, they differ as far as his name. Some of them said Yasar, some of them said Salam, Ibn Abi Salam, but that's Abu Hind. Okay, so he said he told him to marry Abu Hind, to give him a wife from amongst you. One pihu ilayhi. Alright, wakana what? Hajjama. So Abu Hind, his job was what? What was his profession? Hijama. No, he did the hijama.
Yeah, hijama. Like, how to translate it?
Cupping.
Cupping.
Yeah. So this was considered at that time to be a very, 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 very low profession. And if a person took this on as a profession, then you don't marry your daughter to him. But here you see that the Prophet ﷺ told them, marry one of your daughters to Abu Hind. And he was at that time working as a Hajjam. So he was working as a person who does the cupping. So that goes to show that what, in the first hadith of Fatima bin Qais, lineage was out of the question. In this case, what? He's telling this tribe to marry one of the daughters, and we know that if a person is a Hajjam, in the tribes, they don't marry their daughters to these people. So the lineage issue, and then we have the Sina'a issue, the industrial, the job, the profession. So if this girl, she comes from a tribal background, so obviously her parents are going to have more noble jobs and professions than this. They're mostly going to be through jobs like businessmen and sales. You know, they go out and buy and sell, but they're not going to do jobs like this. And this still exists even till today. In Yemen, you don't marry your daughter to a barber. Yes or no? Go ask your father, he'll tell you. All right, if you're a tribe, and this happens till today. If the person is a barber, or he sells vegetables in Suq Shumela, You know, the people with, the people from Grandma, you know, and this is no disrespect to anybody who's Grammy out there, because I respect you guys. You go and you grab a wheelbarrow, you put some tomatoes in the wheelbarrow, you go to the souk and you sell it, and that's how you make your living. You're not stealing from people, you're not begging people. So when you look at what they're doing, and you get out there and they say, the only problem I have is that you guys sit with your tomatoes and you don't pray. That's the problem. When you leave off Salat, that's an issue. But the other people, like the tribal people, they will see the Raimis, and they'll see them selling the vegetables, and they're like, if the Raimi can't, he's not even gonna think about going to one of these tribal dudes in the north and asking to marry his daughter. It's not gonna happen, all right, because he's not gonna marry. If this is a profession, selling the vegetables and the fruits and the soul. So, I mean, it still goes on till today. You know, it still goes on till today. And I mean, if the person's even mixed. So you get like a lot of Yemenis or what? Like the father's Yemeni, the mother's Somali, or the father's Yemeni, the mother's Ethiopian, or the father's Yemeni, the mother's Sudanese. If they're mixed, what do they call them in Yemen? You don't remember. They call them a walad. And so the Somalis have a funny thing about that. Should I say it? This is the Somalis, not the Yemenis. The Yemenis don't say this. The Yemenis, they just won't marry their daughters to anybody that's like from them, you know, from the Mawali. But the Somalis themselves, they say, if you see a snake and you see a Mawalid, he said, kill the Mawalid first. You know, because the Somalis, they don't trust them, right? They don't trust them. So because they're like, the Somalis don't accept them as being Somali, because they're half Somali, half Yemeni. So, but the Somalis don't accept them, and the Yemenis don't accept them. So even the Somalis themselves, they don't like to marry. Like if he's from like tribal Somalis, they won't marry their daughters to them. So, and the same thing with the Yemenis. So this goes on even till today. Even till today, this is still happening. So it's sad, but it's just this nature of people. There's nothing that you can do to stop this. You know, it's just the people are going to be people, no matter where you go. Everybody, and this is always going to be amongst who?
Yemenis.
No, it's not amongst Yemenis. You see this in India, you see this in Pakistan, you see, you know, go over to Pakistan and see how many Pakistani girls in Pakistan, their fathers are going to marry her to a black man.
No.
No, of course, okay, come on. So, you know what I'm saying? So this is, even not, forget a black person, even a dark Pakistani. You know what I'm saying? So this happens everywhere. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's not something, but it happens always with who? The lower classes. Because the lower classes are people that always want to make, so you see like, you won't see like a lot of racism with the rich white people. Why? They don't care. They're rich. They don't really care what you do. You know what I'm saying? It's the poor white people that you're going to see, you know, the people that live in the trailer parks, because they want to, like, they're like low in society. So that how do they make themselves feel better? By putting themselves above somebody else or other people. You know, so then they want to talk about the black folks, they want to talk about the Mexicans, they want to talk, so you know what I'm saying, it's just to make themselves feel better. But you see these rich dudes, they don't care. These rich people sitting there laugh about all this stuff, they don't care. Same thing in Yemen. You think, you know, big rich Yemeni, I mean, of course he probably cares if it's like it comes to marrying his daughter. But I'm saying, it's just like, you know, but that's the tribal culture. You know, and it's not even about race. They won't marry outside of their tribe. So if another tribe came and it's a weaker tribe, they're like, get out of here, you know, you're not marrying my daughter. And I've seen this over and over and over and over and again. So this happens. Even one brother, there was a brother from the Bahamas, Allah Yarhamu, he's dead now. And we were in Damesh, and he wanted to marry this family. They're called Sawadis in Damesh. Now these are a family, they're from the tribe, and this is the Wadi tribe, this is the tribe of Sheikh Mubal, right? But a long time ago, this is, who knows, man, this is way back their great-great-grandfathers, or whoever. Maybe this goes back to the war with Egypt, who knows? All right, because there was a war with Saudi Arabia in the 1950s, and Egypt got involved, and Egypt got slaughtered. Like, the Egyptians got slaughtered in that war, and that's why you see this war with Yemen, Egypt's like, no, we're not going to repeat the 1950s again. They got slaughtered bad. Because, I don't even know the story, but, you know, so maybe it has something to do with that. But this part of the tribe, when the tribe had to go out and fight, they didn't fight. They cowered out, right? So they said, "Clutch, you guys, you're off to the side." You know, and then they call them Sawadis. You know, this is what they call them. Why they call them that, I don't know. But they're they're all the same tribe. But they're kicked out of the tribe. So now, these guys, they can only marry amongst themselves. Nobody from the tribe, they cannot marry anybody from the tribe. So the brother from the Bahamas, he saw one of the girls and said, I want to marry her. So he went up to go propose, and one of the people from the Wadi tribe took him. He said, come here, what are you doing? He said, I want to marry I want to marry from them. He said, no, you're not. You know, and he said, you better not do that. And he told him that, you better not. Like, basically, if you marry from them, we're going to make sure that you're going to be kicked out of here.
The match?
Yeah, because this is the tribe. This is the tribe. You know, they can cause problems for them. You just disappear in the middle of the night. The tribe, they're not students of knowledge. This is Sheikh Mubarak's tribe, but it doesn't mean like all of them are like in the masjid praying and, but the whole point was, because if he's from the Bahamas, if he had married one of their girls, then that would have given them some type of what? Oh, she married a Western guy. That's how they're going to look at it. So they were like, no, you're not. You're not marrying nobody from them. Find somebody else. And that was it. Game over. It wasn't that they were refusing to let them marry, but they didn't want any status to come to them. They wanted them to stay down. So you see this stuff. It exists till today. Till today. It's going to continue on into the day of judgment. As much as these liberals try to fight it, it's just humans being humans. Little people, they always want to find something that they can do try to show that they're better than somebody else. But the person who really has knowledge and Allah's blessing with that, I think we don't care about all that stuff. Look at the person's actions. I don't care who you are. I care about what you believe and what your actions are. And that's it. That's the end game. If you could be the best lineage in the world, you act stupid, get out of my face. That's it. I don't have nothing to do with you. You're doing drugs, you're drinking, you're not praying, whatever. I ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't care if you're from the Prophet's family. Your lineage means nothing at this point because you're not acting right. If the person's acting right, he's in the masjid, he's doing all of he's from the Prophet's family, I ain't with us. That's it, But other than that, no. It doesn't matter about the person's lineage. So, these types of things we don't look at. The main thing is you marry your daughter to a person who's righteous. Is the person rich? Who cares? He's righteous. Praying in the masjid. Learning his deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him, Allah will provide for him. It's not up to me, it's not up to you, it's not up to anybody who's going to provide. You don't know what the provisions are like. The woman gets pregnant, Allah wrote those provisions for that kid. And you don't know. Maybe like me, maybe Allah didn't write a lot of provisions for me. I've been poor all my life. But then, what? Maybe He wrote it for what? For one of my children. And then all this money starts coming in because it's what's written for them. You understand? So you can't, you don't know. You don't know this type of thing. Only Allah knows. So the thing about that, in this regard, you focus on the deen. You marry a righteous person. If a person comes to you and he's righteous, you don't turn him away because of his lineage. You don't turn him away because of his skin color. And you don't turn him away because of his status in society or because, he doesn't have a noble profession. When the person's praying in the masjid, he's trying to do good, you marry him. If the girl's the same, you marry. Get them married. Why would you, and like the Prophet ﷺ said, and then tell what? If there's going to be many tribulations and a lot of corruption in the land if you refuse to do this. You see a person that, he comes to you and you're pleased with his religion, marry him. Well, you sit here and talk about all this foolishness, This is all jahiliyyah, all this tribal stuff. All this racist stuff, this is like, we ain't got no time for that stuff. We ain't got no time. Because trust me, we're all going to die, and we're all going to get raised up on the day of judgment. Your color, my color, your father, my father, none of that matters. None of that's going to matter. The only thing that's going to matter, the only thing that's going to make me above you, or you above me, or us the same is what? Our righteous actions that were accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. So start getting that mentality in your head now. Forget all that garbage. That's like saying, right now, and this is just show you how stupid people are. Let's just say that this is Adab al-Mufrad and this is Adab al-Mufrad. This has a red cover, this has a black cover. But everything in the book is the same. What's the difference? The color of the cover. But everything inside is what? The same. Show you how stupid people are. And when it comes to a human being, would you think you're better because of the color? Is this book better because it's red and this book is black? It's stupid. You know, so I mean, like I said, you start preparing for the day of judgment, you need to start thinking like the day of judgment. That stuff does not matter. Your lineage doesn't matter, your tribe doesn't matter, who your father is, how much money you have, what your status in society is, and the color of your skin. None of that's going to matter. None of it. None of that matters with the law. The only thing that matters with the law is the state of your heart and your righteous actions, your actions. إن الله لا ينظر إلى أجسامكم ولا إلى صوركم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your bodies or look at your images, but He looks at your heart and your actions. That's it. Any questions?
Yes. Over here it says, sometimes people beat on ordinary, almost subconsciously, like books.
What?
زي يضربون هكذا
Is this haram?
زي أغني
Again.
Sometimes people beat on ordinary items almost subconsciously, like books. Is this haram as it can be considered as music?
Beat like to make a beat?
جالس تضرب أشياء
Like going against the
No, I mean,
wall.
if you're making any sort of mudrab, yeah, mudrab is haram. That's why the mudrab is that if you were to sit there and make a beat on a book, and somebody were to walk in the room and start bobbing their head, start dancing, yeah, it's haram, it's music. So, yeah, and that's why the mudrab, yeah. The mudrab means it makes you move, makes you shake.
تقول لهم يمسحوا الرسالة اللي يطرحوا.
What?
يقطعوا الرسالة اللي يطرحوا.
أيوة.
No, هم كلهم يقطعوا الرسالة اللي يطرحوا.
Which stuff for the comments?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they should already do it. We go ahead and make comments about this. They need to, huh?
فتفعلوا
Yeah, we need to erase those comments and so. Allah, you better people. Alright, should we take, we got time for another hadith or what?
Just to make sure, this hadith we just took, is this the one right after Inkihi Usama? هذا.
بهامين
Oh, someone said, was that Bahamian brother Sheikh Farid Abdullah?
No. The brother that grew up with Sheikh Farid. Farid was never in the match. It's Jamil, like, and he grew up with Farid. Like Farid, Abu Saif, and Jamil. Those three, they grew up together. And they wanted Abu Saif and Farid, they went out to seek knowledge together. But Farid was just on a different level. So they took Farid and they moved him to Riyadh. Abu Saif was in Medina, then Abu Saif ended up going to Damascus. And then Jamil ended up going to Damascus. So yeah. But Jamil, he died before Farid. I think he died first, and then Farid died alhamdulillah. Alright, so the next hadith عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت خيرت بريرة على زوجها حين وثقت متفق عليه في حديث طويل ولمسلم عنها أن زوجها كان عبدا وفي رواية أنها كان حرا والأول أثبت وصح عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما عند البخاري أنه كان عبدا. So this is something that we spoke about briefly, but this is the issue. So Barira, she was a slave, and she went to Aisha rضي الله عنها, and she said that I want to get my freedom. So Aisha, she said she'd pay. She'll pay for her and then free her. And then the family said, okay, but under one condition, there what? No, yeah, the wala, and that the wala is for them. And then what did the Prophet ﷺ say about this? We're not going to be here. You got to remember, you got to go back and remember.
He didn't accept. He said like...
He said, Ma'alif Qawmin, what? And he يشترطون and he ليس في كتاب الله ولا سنة, he said, woman, and he said, what was the wording? See, even me, I forgot the wording of the hadith. This is a common hadith from my memory. It happens, so. But he said, whoever makes a condition, even if it's 1,000 conditions, or, 100 conditions, he said, yeah, well, me a short, ليس في كتاب الله فهي باطل. It's invalid. And he said, al-wala'u liman a'ta. So he said that the wala is for who? It's for the one who frees the person, not the person who, like, for example, Aisha is the one who's going to free her. So that means that Barira, she takes after who?
Aisha.
She's going to take from Aisha. That means that, that Aisha can inherit from her, and then she can, if Aisha doesn't have somebody to inherit from her, then Barira can inherit from her. So she has the wala. Alright, and then she freed her, and then Barira ended up staying with them, with Aisha. Alright, and so then at this point, Barira, when she was enslaved, she had a husband. But then when she was given her freedom, now she's free, and her husband's still what? Still in slavery. So the Prophet ﷺ went to her and said, what do you want to do? And this is the khiyar part, this is the choice. Alright, where it says al-kafa'atu wal-khiyar. So al-musawa wal-khiyar wal-ikhtiyar, So he gave her the choice. He said, do you want to keep your husband or do you want to end the marriage? Alright, and then what did she choose? She chose to end it. Alright, and that's it, it's over, it's done. So, and this hadith goes to show that what? The khiyar. Because now, at this point, the marriage is done. And because she asked the Prophet ﷺ, she asked him, if she's doing shafa'ah or if he's commanding her. And he said, La inna ma'ana ashfa. So he said, no, I'm just interceding on his behalf. I'm not commanding, it's not a command. Alright. And then she said, no, la hajata li fihi. There's no need for him with him. So she didn't want him. So the marriage is over. But the khiyar, the choice was for who? For Barira. Alright? So, and this type of choice in the matter, it goes with a lot of different issues. For example, if you get married to a girl and she didn't tell you about some defect that she has, right? Yeah, like let's say that she can't have children. Or let's say that the man, he can't have children and he didn't inform the woman, or the woman can't have children, or other things, like maybe she has some type of skin condition she didn't talk about that, you didn't find out until you went to her and she took her shirt off and you're like, oh my God, what's up with your skin, or something like that, who knows, I mean, anything that will cause the person, like all of these things you need to inform the person before the marriage, because once the person gets married and he sees, or she or he, it can go back either way. Because it could be the man. Maybe the man has some type of condition where he can't function. It happens, right? He can't function with the female, right? And she doesn't know this until what? Till they get married and then he's... Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? So... I'm not gonna... Stop. Alright, so he can't function, right? So now what does she do? She has a choice. She can go to the wali, to the qadi or whoever, and say, hey, I'm married him, and now I found out that he's got this defect and he ain't doing nothing, so I want out. And that's it. Collapse.
Just to verify, if you say there was a person, obviously a man, his skin is perfectly normal, but there's an issue. His skin is very weak to the point, like if he goes in the sun and his arms were to be exposed in the sun for like 6 minutes straight, he starts to flame up red, but then it goes away like in 2 minutes if he's in the shade. Is that a...
I don't know. If that's something, he would know if that was a defect based on how girls dealt with him growing up, I guess. If he lived in America, he would know, because girls are like, oh my God, what's wrong with your skin? Huh?
Oh, okay. So basically, the question is, can a woman divorce her husband if he can't please her?
A woman cannot divorce anybody. The divorce is not in the woman's hands. She can go to the judge and he can have the zawaj, which is like just have it annulled. But this is like, now you gotta understand, if she agrees to it, like, let's say that she finds out, like they get married, let's say that he has, not like this type of thing, like where he can't function, because that's the game over, you know what I'm saying? You get like a 20-something-year-old woman and you're married and you can't function, that's getting over for you. You might as well become a monk right now. But, just dedicate all your living and breathing time to seeking knowledge and stay away from the female persuasion, because it's over for you. But, But let's say that he has some type of skin condition or something like this, and then he gets married and she finds out about it, she didn't know about it. Now she has a choice to go to the qadi, but she says, no, I'm gonna be patient. But then 3 weeks later, she said, that's it, I can't deal with this anymore. Can she do that? Can she do that or no? No, because once she says that she can be patient with it, what? She can't have the marriage annulled, what's the word? Annulled? Is that the proper words?
Oh yeah, that was a question.
That was a question. Oh, but the question over here was like, if, yeah, he already answered the question.
You guys and these questions keep my nerves, man. But, so yeah, I mean, if she agrees and she says, no, I'll be patient. Once she's agreed, that's it. She can't come back 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later and say, no, I want out of this marriage. Because she's already agreed. Now, once she noticed the defect, she has a chance right then and there to go to the judge and find out. All right, like get the marriage done away with right then and there. But once she says that I agree and I'll be patient and don't worry, then no, she can't do that. The only thing that she can do is ask for the divorce, to demand divorce. That's it. But she doesn't have divorce in her hands. This is Islam, it's not America. So the woman cannot divorce. But they can get the marriage like a fuss if she finds that type of defect. Now, if she finds out, like, okay, she doesn't know, like, let's say, because maybe the man, he knows that he can't have children. He marries her, he doesn't tell her, that she doesn't find out until they've been together for like 2 years, 3 years, and they haven't had children. Yo, what did Robert tell y'all before? What did he say? He said, go to the corner and stay over in that corner, right?
Yeah.
Why are you looking outside? Because you're trying to see if he's still here. What are you worried about? You're worried about Robert coming back up and seeing you over here, right? I say, you want to sit down and act like men, sit down and be quiet. You want to talk and give it a yes like the women, go back and sit behind that partition. All right, cuz. No disrespect to the ladies. But anyway. All right. Well, all right, so, but she doesn't find out for 2 years. Right? 2 years now, because they're trying to have babies and she's trying to figure out why am I getting pregnant, why am I getting pregnant. So then they go and they do a test and then they find out that what? He's infertile, he can't have kids, it's done, it's over for him. And then she finds out that he's been lying to him the whole time. What does she do?
The judge.
She goes to the judge and she has the marriage done away with. What about the mahar?
Goes back to him.
Huh?
Does it go back to him?
No. How does it go back to him? He's been sitting there.
Lying.
He's been having relations with this woman for 2 years. Once he's gone to the woman and he's done the action, it's over. There's no mahar for him. The mahar, only half of the mahar can be returned to him if he goes in and sees like let's say that he goes right in at the time of the marriage, and he sees a defect and he's like, no, I don't want it. And he doesn't touch her, he doesn't do anything. What does he get back?
All of it.
How?
He doesn't touch her. If he didn't.
No, if he touches her, if he goes and has relations with her, he doesn't get nothing back. That's it, because now he's made, it's become halal for him and he's done what he did for us. And the mahar is for her. So she still can benefit from that, but he gets half of the mahar back. But if they cheated him, then that's a whole different story. If they cheated him, now if it's a defect that they, maybe they didn't know about and they didn't tell him, because they didn't know and the girl was keeping secret, then he gets half of the mahar back. Half. All right, which you probably won't even see that. Not nowadays, because most of that money's already gone. Anyway, it's spent on what? Marriage halls and sheep and all types of stuff. So you wait for 15 years to get that money back anyway, if this even happens. But yeah, so I mean, in that case, it doesn't matter how long it is, if that deficiency doesn't show up, even if it's like in this case, 2 years. Same thing with a man. If the woman's infertile, then he finds out like 2 years ago, they run tests and they find out that it's her, she can't have kids. He has a choice. He can keep her, or he can go to the judge and say, he could just divorce her. He's the man. I mean, that's not an issue for him. He just say, well, you're divorced. Because I mean, especially if she knew this was the case, but she didn't tell him. That's evil. Whoever cheats and deceives us is not from amongst us. So, I mean, this is a form of cheating and deception, and it's not permissible. You know, the same thing, if you bought a car, you want any type of defect to be known about the car. It's not permissible for the person to do what? To hide a defect. And once you find a defect of the car, well, you have every right to what? Take this car back out here, you know? I don't want this anymore. In this case, because it's a business deal, you know, you get your money back. But in the case of a woman, if you've actually, you know, done actions with her, then no. In this case, you don't get the money back. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yep, no.
Tell you what.
Gotta love them, right? You're gonna be the next thing we just run off through social
This is
media.
gonna be a long topic.
What's that?
It's gonna be a long answer.
What's the question?
Like, what's the difference between Ash'aris and Maturidis?
No, it's how the ball Ba'dahum and ba'dah, son, because they all go back to the, you know, the bid'ah of, like, you know, doing the ta'wil and that's my sifat. So all of them, they have the same issues of, like, they don't go back to the salaf when it comes to these issues of asma wa sifat. They go back to whatever their desire is telling them to go back to. So they're all the same in that regard. You know, they might be different in different issues, but their asl is all the same. It goes back to the Marital and the Jahmiyyah. So that's it. Huh?
I thought no.
You gonna call the alarm today?
Jahid?
Jazz gonna call the alarm today?
What do I say?
You can't call the alarm today. You gotta go home and practice, man. Because if you call the alarm again, talking about the calm to salat in the alarm, huh? You gotta practice more at home, so. I said used to call the alarm in Mecca when he was like 3 years old, but now he can't.
Uncle Robert's back.
Robert!
Let him give the
Company
other.
across the street,
Huh?
got a company across the street.
What's the company?
Fresno PD.
Oh, the police is blocking up the street again?
They over there.
Or did Abdul Malik dump somebody on the head again?
Malik just pulled up.
Oh, it's probably was it that dude that was over doing that like
Somebody on the corner right there.
was it the guy that was doing the little circles in the street when I pulled up?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then somebody probably called the police on him.
Yeah.
Pulled up, man, he just walking in circles, man. I'm like, what's going on?
Ain't nothing. When I
No, that's the good, that was the easy one.
I got off the freeway, and there was a dude on the corner with a rake and a hoe, raking and hoeing the corner.
And
On drugs.
And putting the dirt in the street.
Nah, man, I just like the guys who do the Tai Chi in the park, man. You know, the crystal meth Tai Chi, you know.
Welcome to
That's what I said, when we passed by one day, the dude was like, doing that in the park. I was like, look, kids, he's doing Tai Chi in the park, man. Yeah, man, that's sad, man, it's a sad existence, man. I don't know what drives, I don't even wanna know what drives a person to like think that's a cool life to live, man, in the long term.
In a minute.
That's it.
Yep.
Hanukkah, what we gonna do, that's stuff to look forward to with it.
Safe. That's
We're about to pray right now, so.
Mujahid, that's it.
No, you